What up, sports fans? Waxon Wednesday, Jake Waxman, Tyler Level, let two guys talk sports. Let's go. All right. Another disappointing Chicago Bears season in the books. I think you know what I'm going to get at. Okay. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Look, I know there's a lot of young players on this Bears team, but I expected more out of this team this season. Okay, I didn't think they were gonna make the playoffs. Okay, but I thought at the very least they would make up plenty of noise this season and score a couple of really impressive victories. Some of which they did, but this Bears team was not even close in 2024. They started out really good at 4-2, and then didn't win a game until January of 2025. Now, I will say this. It was felt so good to beat the Packers. Okay, don't get me wrong. It felt really good to beat those damn cheeseheads up in Wisconsin. Beat them in their own house thanks to Cario Santos saving the day. So, and very satisfying way to conclude the season. I'm glad we beat the Packers, so that's probably the highlight of this disappointing Bears season. All right, great win, but can't overlook the fact this was a truly awful season for the Bears. All right. Obviously, coaching was the biggest problem this season was coaching. All right, Matt Eberflus, he made a mess that he did not clean up last season. I do not understand why Ryan Poles decided to bring him back. I thought for sure. Okay, I won't say I thought for sure last season he was going to get fired, but I thought there was a good chance. Of course, that didn't happen. And just learning about the details about them bringing back Poles, or not Poles, but bringing back Matt Eberflus instead of getting Ben Johnson. Goodness. So a lot of the big problems for the Bears, and one of the reasons they only won 5 games this NFL season, coaching. Thomas Brown gave it the best he had after Matt Eberflus became the first coach in Bears history to be canned before the season even ended. Okay, give Thomas Brown some credit. He did the best he could, but I don't think he's going to get the job. Maybe as an offensive coordinator. But he's definitely not. He's not going to be the coach. All right, the Bears are going to be looking elsewhere. O-line, goodness. It's safe to say the Bears were getting by with third string. Like they were playing with third string or practice squad O-line. At least that's what it looked like. It was that bad. And rough learning year for Caleb Williams. Now he did set a lot of rookie records and threw for over 3,000 yards. That was good to see. There's still plenty for him to work on, okay? All right, got to get rid of the ball faster. Accuracy can be better. Don't overshoot your receivers. But these are things that are fixable with the right coaching. You know, like I said, faster and better reads on the defense. And as well as, you know, just not playing hero ball, okay? Not trying too much to extend the plays. Of course, granted, it's okay when he does that, but at times. But, hey, I've got hope for this kid. In spite of the Bears season, there is some hope. Caleb Williams, I think, is going to be a very good quarterback, especially with the right coaching. I don't know if he'll be a legend, but he has a chance to be the best quarterback in Bears history if they give him what he needs. All right, he has some areas that he needs to improve on, but you know what? For right now, I'm going to give this kid a chance, all right? Give him what he needs. Give him what he needs, and he'll excel. Okay, this kid, he has everything he needs to play in the NFL. Just some things to work on. But he's not the biggest reason why the Bears had a bad season, all right? He's a rookie. Go easy on him, okay? Next year's going to be the critical year. So, and a plus, okay, granted, he needs to get rid of the ball faster, but a lot of plays, the O-line didn't give him any time to really throw the ball. And that was the reason why Caleb Williams was, or at least one of the big reasons why Caleb Williams was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL this season. Got to get a better O-line this offseason. Defense, they'll need some upgrades too. And don't get me wrong, I like Montez Sweat and I like this defense, but they need some upgrades too. Too many times where they had some busted coverages. So, a lot of work to do on both sides of the ball. There's plenty of talented players in Chicago, at least I believe. But coaching is the biggest thing along with the O-line, coaching is the biggest thing the Bears need to work on this offseason. And like I said, only 2 names I want. don't give a crap about the rest of the coaching, the coaches that are interested in the. Okay, I know there's a lot of coaches that are interested in the Bears' job, but there is only two that I want. Okay, for me, it's either Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel. I will take either one of those two. Sorry, Pete Carroll. I know you're a legend, but I think the Bears need someone different running this ship. And the same go. And also, I will say this. And I know a lot of people have also talked about Mike Flores as well as part of the Bears coaching search. I just don't know that Caleb would excel under Flores. Not Mark Flores, Brian Flores. I'm such an idiot. It's Brian Flores. Look, I like him too. He has a good pedigree on defense, but I don't think Caleb Williams would excel under Brian Flores. So, okay. So, for the Bears, okay, disappointing season. It was frustrating as a Bears fan. I mean, I'm happy we beat the Packers in the end. That was probably the highlight. But otherwise, that's the highlight of otherwise another forgettable season. And a forgettable rookie season for Caleb Williams. Look, I believe in the guy, and I think he can do it. There's a lot he has to improve on. But more importantly, the Bears need to give him what he needs to improve and get to work. And be that quarterback that he can be. With all the potential that he has. And the abilities. More importantly, but the most important thing for the Bears, fix that O-line, fix that offensive line, and hire the right guy at head coach. Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel. To me, those are my top two. Those are the two. If it's not one of those two, I'm sorry, sports fans, I'm rioting then. Because I think those are the only two guys that are capable of turning this franchise around into a Super Bowl contender. Like, if we want to go and win a Super Bowl with Caleb Williams, then with what we have, I think those are the only two guys that are capable of doing it, in my opinion. And I know Pete Carroll's a proven coach, but he might just be too old to coach the Bears at this point. So, that's kind of how I feel. Well, there's only one last thing I got to say about this Bears season. Thank goodness it's over. And on to the next. Look, I still got some hope. But I'll have even more hope for this organization if they make the right hire at head coach. And the McCaskies and Kevin Warren need to stay out of this. Okay? Let Ryan Poles pick the guy. Alright? That's all I gotta say. And hopefully he picks the right guy. But let the general manager do his job. The higher-ups from the general manager, stay out of this. Because if you don't, it's going to be more of the same. Not much else to say. Just bad news Bears. Just like every year. For now. Will things change for the Bears? Time will tell. That's all I got to say. I hope they make the right hire. But it would not surprise me if they blow it. Goodness. All right. Now, before I go on and make some some NFL playoff predictions, okay, we're gonna start with college football, and I might be playing devil's advocate here. I'm not gonna lie, but I think I might be one of the few people who actually likes this new system of college football. I wasn't sure how I felt about extending to 12 teams, but this new playoff format has created chaos in its debut, and I honestly like it. Because it's created a new variety of teams who you don't think of as like championship contenders, and here they are. How about this for a final four? You got Ohio State, Notre Dame, Penn State, and Texas. Okay, Texas doesn't come as too much of a surprise, but who would have thought we'd be talking about Notre Dame, Penn State, and Ohio State being in the Final Four for the college football national championship, or they're running for it? That is crazy stuff. But you know what? I love this variety. Put something different in, because the 4-team playoffs was good as well, but it felt like it was the same teams each and every year, or mostly the same teams. This year, we truly got something different, absolute chaos, and when you got something new like this, you're gonna have there's a good chance you will have mayhem, chaos, and that's what this format has brought. And I'm all for it. It's good stuff. And this is good for college football. Some fans don't like it because the teams that were higher seeds, they were looking rusty, but hey, it was their job to get ready for these games, all right? And I will say this. I thought Oregon was going to be the team to beat. I thought they were the team to beat for sure this year. And I thought they looked like the team that's favorite to win the national championship. You know what? They came out flat against Ohio State. And Ohio State, they stomped them. They flattened them. Oregon, that was not the same Oregon team that I saw. This 2025 Oregon team. It was not the Oregon team from 2024 that I saw. I think someone forgot to tell them that it was a new year. for lack of better words. But you know what? Here's the thing. Absolute chaos because 3 of the 4 highest seeds all lost. I mean, Oregon lost. You got Boise State who lost. Of course, they played a really good team in Penn State, though. So I guess that one's not too surprising. And then, actually, not 3 of the 4. Apologies. I'm going to correct myself. The 4 highest seed, the higher seeds, all 4 higher seeds in the round of 8, all lost. Now, Arizona State and Boise State were not too surprising because Texas is a really good football team. Same with Penn State. Oregon definitely shocked me. And Georgia, I thought Notre Dame would make it close, but give them props. They found a way to not only beat Georgia, they beat them mentally. Like, that game was never in doubt. Georgia, too many mistakes to win that game. And that Notre Dame team, like, they played very physical on defense. And Marcus Freeman, great coaching job, by the way. Now he's a class act. I like Marcus Freeman. Class act, and you know what? He outcoached Kirby Smart in that game. Especially that 4th down where they changed the formation and then they were able to draw Georgia offside. That was amazing. All I can think to myself is that was the moment Notre Dame won that game. Great coaching by Marcus Freeman. He'll have a chance to prove himself some more. But I can tell you this, Notre Dame, they're not missing Brian Kelly, okay? They're not missing Brian Kelly. They like what they've gotten, Marcus Freeman, and as they should, because he is leading the way well for them in his 3rd season. And he's got a chance to achieve more. Now so that's just my thoughts on the college football playoffs. Honestly, I like it so far. And hopefully there's more chaos in the future. Glorious chaos. All right, predictions. Texas and Ohio State, Ohio State, they got a lot of momentum right now. Texas is a great team, but Ohio State is playing with a lot of fire right now. And I think Ryan Day might have heard what I said about him, and you know what? I'll confess, he's proven me wrong. He's showing that he's not just laying back; he's helping this team win. I'll give him props there. These two playoff games, Ohio State is dominated. Of course, you could say that Ryan Day does have great teams around him, but you know what? I've noticed he's been a lot more active on the sidelines. It does help to have a great team, but Day's making me eat my words. With that being said, I think Ohio State, with all the momentum they got right now, they look like the best team remaining in the college football field, and I think they are just going to be too much for Texas. So with that said, I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. I am going to go with a score. Just thinking of the gears in my head are turning. Really got to get them turning faster. All right. My score prediction is this. I'm going to go 42-25 in favor of the Ohio State Buckeyes. 42-25. Ohio State over Texas in, I believe, the Cotton Bowl. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then the Orange Bowl between Notre Dame and Penn State. I think this is going to be a very close contest. Defense is going to be heavy. A lot of people have pegged Penn State as the favorite, but I'm just going to say this. Do not sleep on Notre Dame. Don't sleep on them. They are well coached. Don't sleep on Marcus Freeman. Right now, he's in a rhythm. He's got a lot of mojo as a coach. And this Notre Dame team, they got a lot of moxie. They got a lot of energy. They're playing great football as well. I think this is going to be a really, really close game. My score prediction is 23-20 in favor of the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. So I'm going 23-20 Notre Dame over Penn State, and the national championship, I'm going to predict it's going to be between Notre Dame and Ohio State. So that's my predictions for the college football playoffs this weekend, or at least those 2 bowl games. They're going to be really good games, all right? They're going to be fun to watch. These are some of the best teams remaining, and they're playing some of their best football at the right time. Let's see which teams have got that energy and who does not. We'll find out this weekend. Now on to the NFL playoffs. So I made my predictions for the second to final weekend of the college football playoffs. Let's move on to that wild card round of the NFL. Starting with the Chargers and the Texans. All right, so Houston, they won the AFC South. They got that home game. But they've been struggling this year. It's almost like the sophomore slump of C.J. Stroud has really affected this team. And I think that's going to carry over in this game. And this Chargers team, under Jim Harbaugh, they look tough. They could make a deep playoff run. With that said, I am going to go with 27. I'm going to go with a score of 27-10 in favor of the Los Angeles Chargers. Nah, do the San Diego Chargers. Forever the San Diego Chargers. So, but either way, Chargers over the Texans, 27-10. And then Steelers and the Ravens. All right. Ooh, very big time rivalry. Historic rivalry, too. As of late, of course. This game could be a bloodbath, as most of these games turn out to be. But with that being said, all right, the Steelers, they earned their playoff spot. But I think the ride ends here for Pittsburgh. I think the Ravens are just going to be too much for the Steelers. And having that home field advantage at Baltimore, it's going to prove to be a big-time plus for the Ravens. I got this one. I think this is going to be a close game, though, with that being said. But I think the Ravens are going to be just a little too much. 21-17 Baltimore Ravens. And then you got the Broncos and the Bills. So here's the thing: we've got 2 AFC games on Saturday, and then 1 AFC game on Sunday, and 2 NFC games on Sunday. So Broncos and the Bills. All right, the Broncos. What a season they've had. Bo Nix looks like he could be an NFL caliber quarterback, but sadly, I think the magic carpet ride ends here for the Broncos. I think the Bills, there's some questions around the Bills, especially with past playoff performances. Blah. But I think this Bills team they have enough, more than enough to handle this surprising Broncos team. I'm going to roll with the score of 34-13 in favor of the Buffalo Bills over the Broncos. And finally, now we're moving on to the NFC side of things. So for the AFC, I've got Chargers, Ravens, and Bills. Now to the NFC side of things, we got the Packers and the Eagles. All right, well, all right, I'm still feeling insufferable. And all I just got to say is, suck it, Green Bay. Suck it. Eat it. Bears win. Still, that's right. I'm still this insufferable little pipsqueak, or whatever you want to call me, or little S word. I'm still insufferable over that game. I mean, it's a satisfying way as a Bears fan to end the season, beating the Packers. Those fudge Packers. But with that being said, now getting into the seriousness of this game, there's some questions about how healthy this Packers team is going to be going into this matchup with the Eagles. And will Jordan Love be able to play? He got his hand hit hard in that game against the Bears. They had to take him out. And he did not play the rest of the game. But I will also say, even before that injury, he was not playing too well. He's not been playing too well as of late. Even if he does play. And that is whether he plays or not. This Eagles team, I think, is just going to be too much for this Packers team. Green Bay as a whole right now, they got into the playoffs, yes, but I don't think this is a team that's really poised to make that run this year. Quite a few questions and even more holes. You know what? I'll just say this, even more holes than the cheese. All right, getting serious. I think that this is going to be a one and done for Green Bay. And Philly goes on to divisional round. So Philly over Green Bay by a score. I'm going to get really bold. By a score of 44-7. I think the Eagles blow out the Packers. All right, and then we got the Commanders and the Buccaneers. I could see this being a gunslinger show. We got two fantastic court. Right, Jaden Daniels, I think, should be the Rookie of the Year. Okay, no question. He should be the Rookie of the Year. He's led the Commanders to the postseason, and against a very solid Buccaneers team. Okay, this Buccaneers team, I know they just barely won the NFC South. But with that being said, hey, Buccaneers in the playoffs for the 5th straight season. And Baker Mayfield, he's had some games where he's just played out of his mind. Like Mayfield, he's stepped up as a quarterback since coming to Tampa Bay. He's finding his stride. He's, in my opinion, if not a top 10 quarterback, he's at least a top 15 quarterback. But he can make the case for top 10 if he can beat this Commanders team. And I could see this being a high-scoring slugfest. Holy crap. I think this is going to be a very high-scoring game. Probably the highest scoring game in this year's wild card. My score prediction, I am going to roll with the score of, if this makes any darn sense. All right, you know what? I got it. 49-42, Commanders over the Buccaneers. It's going to be that crazy of a high-scoring game. Good Lord. And next, and finally, last but not least, Vikings and the Rams. All right, the Rams have home field advantage in this game. They got it. They were able to get the tiebreaker over Seattle by means of strength of schedule. The Rams, because I think they actually lost to the Seahawks in the final game of the regular season, but because the new tiebreaker procedure is now strength of schedule, the Rams had the edge there over the Seahawks, and that's why they're in the playoffs instead of Seattle. Wop wop, Seahawks. But now they're playing against arguably what might be one of the best wild card teams in NFL history in this Minnesota Vikings. And you know what? I was wrong about them. I thought this was a team that I thought for sure was going to choke away their season. Nope. They made the playoffs. Made me look like an idiot. That's for sure. Proved me wrong. Way better than I gave them credit for. And Sam Darnold, he's balled out all season. Had a tough game against Detroit, but you know what? That Detroit team, right now, when I look at it, I think that Detroit team is the team to beat, at least in the NFC side of things. They make everybody look bad. Now, with that being said, Rams and Vikings. Okay, the Rams beat the Vikings in LA the first time. This time, however, I think the Vikings escape Los Angeles with more than escape Los Angeles. I think they're going to... Los Angeles, I think, is going to play very, very well. But I think the Vikings are just going to have a bit too much firepower. So I'm going to go with a score of 34-21 in favor of the Minnesota Vikings over the Los Angeles Rams. So I mentioned my AFC side. NFC side of things, I've got the Eagles, the Commanders, and the Vikings all advancing to the divisional round. So now with all that said, that's my NFL Wildcard Weekend predictions. On to this day in sports history. And on this day, the 7th of January, 1961, the first NFL playoff bowl, runner-up bowl. Detroit beats Cleveland 17-16. So this was back in the days of the old NFL AFL championships. I had no idea they had a consolation game in those days. I really did not. This is something new I learned. And, well, Detroit, at least you can say you've won so far you've won a consolation championship. Or runner-up bowl, as they call it. But this Lions team, they look good. This year looks good enough to win a lot more. All right, sports fans, that's all I got for this week's Waxon Wednesday. Hope you're having a good start to the new year. Thank you so much for watching. Jake Waxman from Two Guys Talk Sports, signing off. Enjoy the football this weekend.